Hey, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. Cool. Right, well, I've got a massive haul video for you. Well over 50 titles, so strap in and let's go. Right, let's start with a couple of 4Ks from Arrow. So a while ago I did a pre-order, and in the previous haul video you saw that I had Swordfish, Roadhouse and Dark City. But at the time I also pre-ordered The Stuff, which I've never had before in the collection. Never got the Blu-ray, missed the first edition, and was kind of sat on the fence about whether I wanted to have it in the collection. But as soon as I saw the announcement for the 4K, I thought, well, that'd be a good time to get it, won't it? Because then I get to see the film as close to theatrical quality as possible. So there we go, The Stuff. A DVD of which I just got rid of last night to a good mate who came over. So I won't be able to do a comparison, and not sure I can be in the mood to do these comparison videos anymore. I don't know. If there's enough interest, I'll do them. But anyway, it is Sylvester Stallone's Cobra. So this is the film that would have been Beverly Hills Cop, essentially, had Sylvester Stallone not been taken out of the project. So this is what he made, I guess, after Beverly Hills Cop didn't want him. Just the film he wanted to make. So there we go, Cobra. Nice commissioned artwork there. It's pretty cool. There's a poster and everything inside. Let's show you, shall we? There's your 4K, different picture again, and we got booklet, different image again, Bridget Nielsen. Can't do that. One of these really good Arrow booklets, and poster. Cool, huh? And then the cool commissioned artwork there. Right, let's put that away, close that up, and put on the lovely slip. They seem to have gone back to these just regular one sheet skinny slips again, rather than the slightly more fancy. Maybe it's a cost thing, who knows. Like I said, there's over 50 titles. There's actually 52, and the other 50 are here. So it's not going to be a long video, don't worry. But you're not going to see that, but there's 50 war films on here. Not all World War II. There's some Civil War ones. There's a couple of Korean War ones. I think there's 1 or 2 World War One war films, and I'll read them out to you. I've watched 2 already. They were pretty good. Now the downside is it's region 1, so this is an American release, and they have squashed 4 films onto a DVD 9. Now that's a dual layered disc, so 2 films per layer, and it means the image is quite compressed, and on your TV it's going to look fine. On my projector, and because I worked in the industry and know what to look for, I can see a lot of compression artifacts, but hey, they were still good films. So we have The Adventure of Tartu, if that's how it's pronounced. It's spelled T-A-R-T-U, and that's from 1940, and that's in colour, and featuring Robert Donat. Then we've got Aerial Gunner. That's clearly a World War II one, which I'm looking forward to. That's from 1943, and it's black and white, and starring Richard Arlen. Battle of Blood Island, which I think is kind of loosely attached to Camp on Blood Island. I always knew there was kind of a second one. So it's about one of the Japanese islands, or island in the Philippines. So that's Theatre of War, and that's a 1960 film and in black and white. So yeah, that's about the same time as Camp on Blood Island. And that's Richard Devon is in that one. Then we've got the Battle of El Alamein. Now the good thing about this one, because there's a whole booklet in here, and it just tells you about each film. So that's kind of cool. It's not the most amazing box set, and I'll show you the rest in a minute. But the reason the Battle of El Alamein is interesting to me is because it's from the Axis side, so the German side, as opposed to, you know, the victorious British side, and the Americans helped us as well. So yeah, obviously there's plenty of films from the British side and that kind of thing. But then we've got so that's 1969, and that's colour. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Frederick Stafford is starring in that one. So Battle of the Eagles, 1979, colour. Beckham Femu. Sorry if that's bad pronunciation. Then there's The Big Lift. That's 1950, black and white, and Montgomery Clift stars in that one. So I think that's about the Berlin airlift at the end of the war. So there's films here that span all the way through World War II. I counted there's about 30 odd World War II films in this box set. But I'm looking forward to seeing the Civil War ones as well. And well, any of them really. But yeah, obviously that cover rather denotes World War II. But I did look at the list of films and kind of gauge that I wasn't going to get like 5 World War II films and the rest be from other things. So I got what I wanted essentially. What else is it? Yeah, so Black Brigade. So 1970, that's a colour film. Stephen Boyd. So basically, yeah, clearly it's about a black regiment and their segregation and clearly the way they were treated, which probably wasn't very good. But I think from what I read, it's basically how they proved how good they were, you know, and how wrong we were to disregard them as lesser than whatever. We're all equal. So there we go. Blood on the Sun. Yes, that is from 1945. It's black and white, and what I read about is from the early 30s. A plan gets leaked of the Japanese intention. Clearly it was true. So that's got James Cagney in it. Then you've got Bombs Over Burma. So again, the Philippines, the Burma campaign and all that kind of stuff. 1943, that's black and white. So obviously a lot of these are made during World War II. And that's pretty impressive because, you know, a lot of people were fighting, but then you still needed not just the actors in the film, but you needed the film crews. You needed the location and the equipment, and that kind of thing. So that has Anna May Wong in it. Then there's a film called British Intelligence. That's from 1940. It's black and white and has Boris Karloff in it. That'd be cool. Then this one is definitely not World War II, called The Bushwhackers. It's black and white from 1962 and has John Ireland in it. The Commandos, that's a World War II film from 1968. It's in colour, and that has Lee Van Cleef in it. So some notoriety here. Then we got Corregidor. That's from 1943, so that's clearly set in World War II, and has black and white and has Otto Kruger in it. Then you got The Dawn Express, 1942, black and white, starring Anne Nagel. Now, I think, if I remember rightly, from what I read, it's about Germans going after the, Roosevelt, Churchill and Stalin when they met up in Casablanca. Now, I've got another film, which I got fairly recently, called The Churchill Express, or sorry, The Casablanca Express, which is about the same thing, but sort of from the other way. So it's kind of cool to have two films from sort of both sides, if you see what I mean. Because again, I think it's from the Axis point of view. Desert Commandos, pretty much going to be World War II. 1967, colour and starring Ken Clark. Drums in the Deep South. Now, pretty sure that's a Civil War film. 1951, black and white, starring James Craig. Then we've got Eagle in the Cage, 1972, colour film with Ralph Richardson. Trying to think, I'm guessing that was Civil War, not sure. Anyway, Go for Broke, 1951, colour, starring Van Johnson. Then we've got Gung Ho, that's one I actually watched. It's about the Marines, the American Marines, and basically how the unit came about. That they were specially trained. They trained for 6 months. They were going to be doing all sorts of, really dangerous things. They were kind of turning them into animals, essentially. You've got to kill in any way and be prepared to do all this, that, and the other. It's a really well made film. I was really impressed. And actually, I think I've seen it before. I got this DVD. But yeah, it's it's black and white. And it's got Randolph Scott in it. But yeah, really good film, and it really does sort of put you in there and give you an insight as to just how it might have been, because I imagine clearly it's way more horrific than what we see on screen. But there's some, there's blood in it, there's stabbing and stuff, and so they don't sort of shy away. Robert Mitchum's also in it, but a very young Robert Mitchum. There's quite a few faces you'll recognise in there. But so where did I get to? Oh, I've actually missed a few. So after Drums in Deep South, I should have said Eagle in a Cage from 1972. It's colour. Another one with Ralph Richardson. Is that his second one? Or did I get mixed up? I don't know. And then there's Go for Broke, 1951, colour with Van Johnson. I know I read the names. Never mind. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. Hearts in Bondage, 1936. So yeah, clearly prior to World War II. James Dunn stars in that one, and that's black and white. And we've got Hell in Normandy. Clearly that's about the Normandy landings. That's from 1968, and it's colour with Guy Madison. Then you got Hitler's SS, Portrait in Evil, and I'm really looking forward to this one because it's about some brothers, I think. One goes into the SS, one goes into, I'm not sure if it's just the regular Wehrmacht, or and there's a conflict of interest in there between the two brothers, and I think they get a bit despondent as well with the way things go. It's not all what they thought it to be, so that's cool to have it from the German side of things. None of these films should all be one-sided, because there's always two sides to a story. Sometimes there's three or four. This is clearly a global war, so there's lots of sides. But where have we go? There we go. Identity Unknown, 1945, black and white film. Richard Arlen again. So he was in Aerial Gunner. Now, what I read about that one was he's a soldier. He's come back from the war, but he's got insomnia, so he can't remember anything. And it's a case of proving who he is, and who is he? Is he actually who they think he is, and that kind of thing. So that sounds interesting. Then The Immortal Battalion, 1944, black and white, with David Niven. Can't quite remember what that one was about, but anyway, I could get the booklet out, couldn't I? But try not to make this video too long. 16 minutes already. So Iron Angel, 1964, black and white, with Jim Davis, clearly not the comedian. So there's 12 discs in this set, and so I was going to say disc 2 then, but that was the first lot of films, and now I'm going to read this lot. So tell you what, before I do that, let's make it a bit more interesting, shall we? So you're not just hearing me read out film titles. Now this is always dangerous. Other titles available. Yes. So some of you have got these big kind of massive amount of film box sets, may have had this before. Now there's nothing bootleg or anything about this. Literally the films come in these paper sleeves, and they all have the same print on them. The only difference is that's disc 1, and as I said, there's generally 4 films per disc. But hey, it's a good way to sort of get hold of some of these films. Sometimes it's the only place you can get them, and I'm really into my World War II films. I'm always looking for obscure films, the good old films, and that sort of thing. So yeah, there's no point in showing you all the discs. Yeah, there's just a whole stack of them basically. Right, so part 2. Kansas Pacific, 1953, colour, featuring Sterling Hayden. Don't think it's World War II. I think it might be Civil War. Then you've got Lady from Chungking. Now that's definitely World War II. 1942, black and white, starring Anne May Wong. I think it's based on a true story. The film called The Last Chance from 1945, black and white, starring E.G. Morrison. Can't really remember what that one's about, but the Marines are coming. 1934, black and white, starring William Haynes. The Mark of the Hawk, which I think might be Civil War. There's one of the films is about the Napoleonic War. So can't remember which one it is, but you can always tell me in the comments if you want to. So that's from 1958. It's colour, and Sidney Poitier is in it. Then we've got Minesweeper, so that's a World War II one. I'm sure there was minesweeping in World War One, because obviously there was lots of naval warfare then. But this, now actually the first film, I want to check this out now. Oh dear. So one of the films is called This Is the Army, and it stars Ronald Reagan. So yes, clearly before he was president of the United States. I've only seen him, I think, in one other film, and that was a Western, if I remember rightly. So yeah, I thought it might have been Minesweeper, but clearly not. So, like I said, 1943, black and white, another Richard Arlen one. He's doing well here, isn't he? Then we got Mutiny, 1952, colour, Angela Lansbury. Wow, cool. The Navy Way, 1944, black and white, Robert Lowry. What was the Navy Way about? Can't remember. One of our aircraft is missing. Now I have that on Blu-ray from the BFI, so obviously I don't need to watch that version. I can watch a really good version on Blu-ray. But it's a really, really good film. And again, if you're into World War II, definitely worth picking this up, and it's definitely worth having a multi-region player so you can play it. If you're in the UK, that is. But if you're in the US, it's for you anyway. Yes, that's 1942, black and white, starring Eric Portman. And then we got Outpost in Morocco, 1949, black and white, starring Jeffrey Raft. I think it's about World War II. Can't remember. Sorry. Pacific Inferno. Again, I think it was about the Philippines. 1979, colour film, starring Jim Brown. Then you got Prisoners in the Middle, also known as Warhead, 1977, colour, starring David Janssen. Prisoners in the Middle. Don't remember reading about that one for some strange reason. The Proud and the Damned from 1972, colour, starring Chuck Connors. Spitfire, known over here as the first of the few. So, you know, Churchill's line, never in history does so many owe it to so few. Something like that. Sorry if I butchered that. But yes, the few pilots, well, there were loads, but, you know. So yes, that's about R.J. Mitchell and David Niven's in it. Great film, really, really good film. So yes, Spitfire in the US, but the first of the few over here. So yes, 1942, black and white, David Niven. It sort of kicks off right in the middle of the Battle of Britain, and he's reminiscing, or it might be in the tail end of the Battle of Britain, and he's reminiscing about how he was involved in the development of the Spitfire. And we've got the Steel Claw. Can't remember what that one's about. 1961, colour, another George Montgomery. Was that another George Montgomery? Oh no, that was Montgomery Clift. So no. Submarine Alert, World War II film, 1943, colour, Richard Arlen again. Is that 4 now? Wow, getting greedy. And then another one, Submarine Base. So I'm guessing they're both World War II films. Yeah, both made in the same year. Oh, one of them's black and white though. And this one, Submarine Base, is starring John Lytle. Sundown, which I watched the other night actually. The lead is kind of female. I say kind of female because it's billed as sort of her film. I guess she shares the screen for half the time compared to the male actors. But she has caravans in the desert, and she's a trader. She's a well-known trader. She's kind of your franchise store trader from, you know, the early days before franchises were a thing. And is there something on my lens? Oh, yeah, I'm sure you've seen a dot somewhere. Never mind. But it was a really good film. It was made during World War II, and it's kind of, you know, the conflict going on around them. But it's about a tribe, and they are getting weapons from somewhere, and it's who's supplying them weapons. So that's cool. 1941, black and white, starring Gene Tierney. Another film, then there were three. 1961, black and white, Frank Latimer, sorry. They Raid by Night, 1942. That was how I came across this box set, I think, when I was looking up various other World War II films. They Raid by Night was one of them, and the only way to get it was on this. So yeah, 1942, black and white, starring Lyle Talbot. This is the Army. There you go, that's the Ronald Reagan one. 1943, colour, starring Ronald Reagan. I didn't need to look at the booklet, it's going to tell me there. Three Came Home. 1950, black and white, World War II film, Claudette Colbert. Then there's a film called The Torch, and better run quickly because my battery's running low. 1950, black and white, Paulette Goddard. War Devils. 1969, colour, starring Guy Madison again. And then Yellowneck. 1955, colour, starring Lynn McCarthy. That one is a Civil War film. So there you go. There's kind of a whole video for you. Yes, it's gone over 25 minutes, but at least I wasn't literally going through all showing you and unboxing and that kind of thing, making it even longer. So there you go. 52 films. Wasn't lying, was I? But there we go. Let me know if you've seen any of those. Let me know if you're pleased that I've brought it to your attention so you can get them for yourself. And anyway, yeah, till the next video, take it easy.